But Gaza remains deadly.
In Beirut, first responders combed through the chaos to find survivors yesterday. The target, Hezbollah commander Ibrahim Akil, wanted by the U.S. for his role in 2 bombings in 1983 that killed more than 300 people at the U.S. Embassy in Beirut and the U.S. Marine Corps barracks. This morning, Hezbollah announced it was also mourning more than a dozen other militants killed in the blast. It's the latest in an escalation between Israel and Hezbollah. After exploding beepers and walkie-talkies killed dozens and injured thousands. An escalation we witnessed from Israel's northern border with Lebanon.
So is that Iron Dome intercepting those rockets?
Yes.
All right, so those are rockets being intercepted by Israel. Rockets flying from just over there on the Lebanese side of the border from Hezbollah into Israel. It appears they're being intercepted by Israel's Iron Dome defenses.
This is the village of Margaliot, population 450. But with Hezbollah territory just a few hundred yards away, Yoni Yacobi and his family are among the handful of residents left.
You can see, nobody.
It's a ghost town.
Ghost town.
The rest have joined the almost 70,000 Israelis forced to flee the northern border. This week, the military made bringing them home an official aim of the war and hit back today, targeting southern Lebanon with waves of airstrikes and artillery. But Israel hasn't forgotten about Gaza. Today, the Hamas-run health ministry said at least 22 people died after a strike on a UN school, half of them children. A pregnant woman was reportedly among those killed. Israel said the school had been turned into a Hamas command center.
U.S. National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan called the killing of that top Hezbollah commander, quote, a good outcome, Nancy, noting Akil had American blood on his hands. But he called the escalation between Israel and Hezbollah worrying.
Chris Livesay, thank you. Now to another military front. Ukrainian forces taking aim overnight at a Russian weapons depot inside Russia. The massive explosion destroyed thousands of tons of ammunition, including some provided by North Korea. The drone attack comes as Ukrainian President Zelensky is due to meet with President Biden at the White House next week to present his victory plan. And tonight, President Biden is holding his final Indo-Pacific summit, meeting with the leaders of Australia, India, and Japan in Wilmington, Delaware. And he was recorded making some off-the-cuff comments about relations with China. CBS's Natalie Brand is there.
Nancy, President Biden making diplomacy personal by inviting the leaders of Australia, India, and Japan to his home here in Delaware for a summit at his former high school. This is an alliance that President Biden has elevated since taking office, as his administration has prioritized security in the Indo-Pacific, important to countering China's aggression and influence in the region. Now, while National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan told reporters today that this partnership is not directed at one country in particular, the president, during comments caught by a hot mic, almost immediately began talking about China.
China continues to behave aggressively, testing us all across the region. And it's true in the South China Sea, the East China Sea, South Asia, and the Taiwan Straits. It's true across the scope of our relationship, including on economic and technology issues. At the same time, we believe intense competition requires intense diplomacy.